Hello everyone, and welcome back to one of my videos where we're going to be responding to August the Duck and his opinions on carnivore from someone that actually follows a carnivore diet. Now I know that August has made many carnivore diet videos, and I felt like someone needs to respond to him. Now this is not meant to be hate towards August the Duck. He has every right to make these videos that he wants to, and I have every right to respond to it. So don't take this as some sort of hate video, because it's not. I just want to give my thoughts. And also, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is my opinion. So anyway, let's look into this.
Hi, I'm 23 years old and my cholesterol is 450, but I'm not concerned. Here's why.
Well guys, we're back. For the last 6 months or so, I have lived in relative peace after forgetting about a certain genre of influencer that I unfortunately became quite familiar with. Good things can never last, huh? TikTok carnivores are a subgenre of online influencers whose claim to fame is eating nothing but meat. Not only that, they claim that their insane diet is the only way to live because science doesn't exist.
I don't know a single person following a carnivore diet that says science doesn't exist. And also, this isn't the only way to live. In my opinion, I do believe that this is the optimal way to live because that's how humans have evolved over 4.5 million years of evolution. And we found that we eat at least 80% of all of our food intake from animals. And this has been confirmed with isotope testing.
And eating nothing but red meat 4 meals a day is going to turn you into a superhuman. Now,
No, you shouldn't really be eating 4 meals a day. I don't think that's optimal. I personally only eat 1 meal a day, so therefore I can have an insulin spike that doesn't keep me in ketosis 24/7. Now, don't get me wrong, there's people like Liver King and carnivore grifters. Well, that's just like with anything. There's always going to be scammers and stuff like that.
like I said, we've become pretty familiar with TikTok carnivores on this channel, and a common theme is that they believe that this way of eating, which has been proven time and time again to not
Okay, can you provide a source for that? Because, and were these studies done by people that strictly only ate meat, or were they eating a combination of carbohydrates and meat? Because if you think about it, most people already do eat plant-based. If you go to McDonald's and you get a Big Mac and fries, the meat is only a small portion of that. So to say that the red meat is causing an issue, that's just complete nonsense. And there is no study that has ever proved that this carnivore diet is dangerous, because you can't. With nutrition science, we don't have the exact answers. The carnivore diet follows how we ate naturally. So that's where we get this evidence from. There is no nutrition science that says 100% this is what we should be eating. In order to do that, we would have to conduct an experiment where we take two twins, we lock them in separate rooms, and we feed them each a different diet. And good luck getting that passed in ethics community, because that's not going to happen.
be very healthy over a long period of time is actually the secret to being the healthiest person on the entire planet. Now obviously, with that being said, one would have to assume that anybody who's partaking in this diet has to be a little bit of a science denier, because obviously Big Pharma does not want you to find out that eating 16 ribeyes a week is the key to eternal youth.
How comes every study that says that red meat is bad is always funded by pharmaceutical industries, some of them that want to sell you statins, which are cholesterol-lowering medications? As for saying that we have to deny science after I explained we don't have the exact science, okay, so let's take a look. Dr. Anthony Chafee, neurosurgeon, follows a carnivore diet. Dr. Sean Baker, orthopedic surgeon, follows a carnivore diet. Dr. Ken Berry, family physician, follows a carnivore diet. Are you saying that all of those people are science deniers?
But as with every group of like-minded people, a select few will always decide to go a little bit crazy, get a little bit funky. And Vic Faraz is a perfect example of this, a 23-year-old TikTok carnivore who is literally speed running heart disease, and is not only aware of it, but is proud of it.
If she was aware of it, she would probably stop. But no, she is not speedrunning heart disease. Well, actually, I haven't looked at this full video yet, but he's going to say cholesterol causes heart disease, which is not true at all. There is no evidence for that. That is just an opinion that's often paid for bought and paid for information. If you go to the mechanisms, you cannot find any evidence of how cholesterol actually causes heart disease.
The other day, I came across this video where this lady right here, Victoria, brags about having life-alteringly high levels of cholesterol. I know, really flexing on us here.
Yep, knew it. Knew he was going to mention the cholesterol. And I don't think she's flexing about it. She just isn't concerned about her cholesterol levels because there really is nothing wrong with cholesterol. I'm just going to play a quick clip from Dr. Ken Berry, and I will link his videos below so you can learn more about this. And this is how he discusses cholesterol and cholesterol-lowering medications.
For all these years, we used high cholesterol as a marker, what we thought was a marker for elevated risk of having a heart attack or heart disease. Well, it turns out that the research shows virtually without exception that the amount of saturated fat you eat and the amount of cholesterol you eat has nothing to do with your risk of heart attack, heart disease, heart failure, or stroke. It's a myth. We thought that we knew something, and that's when doctors are really their most dangerous, is when we think we know something, but we really don't know what we think we know. And that's kind of how it was. We were tricked by some early research done on cholesterol and saturated fat, and then of course the big drug companies picked that up and ran with that because they sniffed billions of dollars in the air. And so they of course did what every business does. They tried to make more money, and they did a great job at it.
Yes, that was Dr. Ken Berry. He has a video. It's too long for me to show on here, but he basically explains how the information was collected and goes into much more detail, and I'll be linking that down below if you'd like to see more.
I decided to go through her page, and my god, it's actually kind of sad seeing a person go down a route like this, having absolutely no idea what it's going to end up doing to them.
No, not at all. It's not sad at all. What is sad is how the majority of people eat basically just sugar. Because bread, pasta, those all contain carbohydrates. Cakes, cookies, those are all carbohydrates. All carbohydrates turn into sugar. So basically, most people are eating a sugar-based diet.
So I figured we'd take a look at a couple of videos here and look at the damage that these pseudo-dietitians are doing to people all around the world.
They're not claiming to be dietitians because they would have to be licensed. They can't really legally give you medical advice. They're just giving their opinions and their experience on the carnivore diet, which is totally fine.
And my cholesterol is 450, but I'm not concerned. Here's why.
Alrighty, so to put this nicely, Victoria, the reason you're not worried, in my opinion, is because you're kind of stupid.
No, she's not stupid at all. She doesn't fall for mainstream propaganda of outdated research bought and paid for and funded by pharmaceutical companies that want to sell you cholesterol-lowering medications. And if you think, oh, they won't buy and pay for research, well, take a look at this. This was even on the New York Times. The sugar industry paid scientists to whitewash the role of sugar in heart disease and instead blame saturated fat. So would cholesterol manufacturing companies that make cholesterol-lowering medications, could they perhaps do the same? Oh, no, they wouldn't do that. Yes, they would.
But a total cholesterol level of 450 is over double of what is considered high cholesterol.
According to who?
A 23-year-old having a cholesterol level of 450 is insane. Like, insane in a way that if this person doesn't die of any unnatural causes, they're basically guaranteed to die from heart disease.
No, not at all. In fact, I would not be surprised if she actually outlives you, not one bit, because she's following a species-specific appropriate diet, which we've been doing for 4.5 million years.
It's not very comfortable, but I think it's an important discussion to have because people like this are saying this is healthy. They're trying to convince people to hop on the carnivore wagon. If you do this, you will die in early death.
Please provide a source for that claim.
For a whole year, I was vegan, and that got me to be nutrient deficient with a whole lot of anxiety attacks that I've never had in my entire life. Not only that, but many other problems. My cholesterol at the time was extremely low. Because of so many problems, I decided to go back to eating a little bit of everything as they suggest. However, that did not help the situation at all. I continued to have gut issues, extreme PMS symptoms, acne, sinus issues, a lot of headaches.
Yes, lots of people do report a reduction in these things when they try a carnivore diet. Um, Usually it starts out with a ketogenic diet. They feel great. They decide to cut out, more of the plant materials. They improve even more because plants, you can even look this up, they do have toxins in them. That is their defense mechanism. They don't want to be eaten. Animals can run, whereas plants can't. So they produce toxins. And they have identified toxins in these vegetables, and you can look it up. In my personal experience being on the carnivore diet, I have lost weight, I stopped snoring, I sleep much better, I no longer get migraine headaches, and I feel much more energized throughout the day, and I don't have these tiredness, fatigue moments. I feel great, and I plan to keep continuing to eat this way because of how it makes me feel. And also, keep in mind, it is a boring diet because you're only pretty much eating beef and butter and eggs, and it gets very boring. So the fact that I see people that still keep doing this shows they actually are getting improvements. And then after a while, the cravings kind of go away, and you start to look at food differently. You look at food as just, I need to eat to live, not the other way around. And not to say that I absolutely hate eating. I enjoy my steak and eggs, but of course it wasn't like when I was binging on carbohydrates, pizzas, ice cream, even though you can make carnivore ice cream. But yeah, so I've noticed some good improvements from it, and many others have as well.
A lot of fatigue. And again, my lab works were not great, extremely low cholesterol.
Guys, this might honestly be the most consistent trend I've ever seen on my channel. The vegan to carnivore pipeline is a real thing, people. It's time to stop denying it. Being a vegan is not healthy. This is pretty well agreed upon. Unless you're supplementing out your ass and
Yes, we finally agree with something on this video. Yes, a vegan diet is very deficient. It is not healthy for you. It is not how human beings were designed to eat. And personally, if you gotta use supplements, you already know your diet's lacking, because you really shouldn't be going towards supplements to try and get your vitamins. And also those supplements can cause side effects, all sorts of nasty stuff.
any diet where you cut out like half of the food groups, not good for you. It's crazy that this is a controversial take.
No, it isn't a controversial take, because that's how most people eat.
But back to the whole vegan to carnivore thing, I have seen so many people say that carnivore is the best thing ever just because they feel better by eating carnivore than they did when they were eating vegan.
Well, did you listen to what she just said? She didn't just go from vegan to carnivore. She was having problems with the vegan diet and decided to incorporate some meat back into her diet. And she was still having issues, and these were resolved as she started transitioning to a full animal-based diet. So it wasn't like she went from veganism to, oh, let's do carnivore.
It's not a very high bar. It seems like majority of the people who fall into the carnivore diet are people who think that the only way to eat healthy or lose weight is by eating a ridiculously restrictive diet. Every single one of these people used to be vegan or keto or this or that. The problem lies with having an unhealthy relationship with food.
An unhealthy relationship with food. I wonder what this guy eats for breakfast, because if it is Pop-Tarts, sugary cereal, sugary syrups, oatmeal with honey and sugar, cinnamon in it, yeah, I don't care if you think I have a issue with food, because you're eating straight up sugar for breakfast, and that's not good for you.
It has nothing to do with carnivore being the best thing ever.
Not to mention, I've been dealing with hypothyroidism for about 10 years now, and my goal is to get off medication. With that, nothing was working for me. So I decided to go on the carnivore diet, and I've never felt better. My cholesterol is high, my lab works are great, my thyroid is regulated for the first time in forever. I haven't experienced a headache since, no more sinus issues, my hair, my nails, my skin is amazing, I don't feel bloated anymore, no gut issues, my flow is finally normal, and I don't experience the heavy PMS symptoms that I used to.
Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Does anybody else see a slight problem with a 23-year-old thinking that this is revolutionary? I am 22. If I were to start eating nothing but spinach and kale for a couple of years, I would probably not feel very good. If I were to then do a complete 180 to where I was eating nothing but steak and eggs, I would probably start to feel a lot better, even if I wasn't getting everything I needed.
Do you even pay attention to the videos that you're reviewing? She didn't say she went from vegan to straight carnivore. And I'm gonna have to repeat myself again. She slowly started adding animal foods back into her diet and still was having issues until going fully animal based. Well, this is probably why you don't believe in this diet, because you don't actually listen to what people are saying. These are not just people on TikTok. Sure, yes, there's people on TikTok, but there's actual doctors that talk about this, actual scientists that have studied this. This is not just people on TikTok being crazy. And it's clear you never really bothered to look into this type of thing.
What I'm trying to say here is that if you are eating in a manner that gives you a decent amount of nutrients and you're somewhat active, good skin, good nails, good hair, no gut issues, no headaches, feeling good most of the time is the default for a young 20-year-old.
Okay, so I guess all these people in their 20s that are on antidepressants and other medications for psychiatric disorders don't exist. Also, by the way, people report a reduction in anxiety and depression symptoms while following a carnivore diet. I'm not saying it cures this, I'm saying people report reductions in these symptoms.
Victoria, most people our age feel just fine eating nothing but McDonald's and drinking nothing but Natty Light.
Well, that's because that's how you've most likely ate all your life, and you have no idea how you would feel if you didn't have all that processed food, all that McDonald's, sodas, candies. You have no idea how you would feel if we completely got rid of those things, because for you, that's normal, and that's how it's been your whole life. So you have no idea. You could reduce these processed foods, and you could find, wow, I have a lot more energy. I feel a lot more active, but you haven't tried that yet. Alright, thanks for watching, everyone. I think I made my points clear. I don't want to keep this video too long, but yeah, don't go send this guy hate. This is just my opinion. Well, if anything, it'd probably be the other way around. His fans, because he has a much, much bigger fan base than me, his fans would probably come on here and probably try and attack me, which is alright. I don't care. I believe in freedom of speech. You're allowed to think whatever you want. But anyway, take care. Thanks for watching. Peace.